The sound of the lock sliding shut echoed like a gunshot. The metallic click sealed me inside my own house, without food, without light. My son, my blood, left me there to wither like some unwanted burden. He thought he had won. He thought I was helpless. What he didn't know was that the basement held his mistake. And when he got a message from me a day later, he came rushing back in blind panic. I remember the first time I held him. His tiny hand wrapped around my finger, gripping as if the world outside would never separate us. Back then, I believed in things like unconditional love. I believed raising him alone after his father's cowardice would bind us closer. I worked double shifts. I skipped meals so he wouldn't. I lied awake nights wondering if I was enough. And for years, he let me believe I was. Until the day I noticed the way he looked at me. Not as a son looks at a mother, but as a predator sizes up prey. His voice sharpened. His kindness dulled. He talked about money more than memories, about inheritance more than effort. The first slip was small, a misplaced bank statement, a withdrawal I hadn't made. Then came the late-night phone calls, the sudden secrecy. And finally, the papers. Power of attorney forms, neatly folded on my kitchen table, as though I'd just sign away everything I had bled for. I didn't rage. I didn't weep. I smiled. Because the moment betrayal reveals itself, grief is useless. Only strategy matters. I began to play the part of the fading mother, forgetful, frail, confused. He believed it. Oh, how he believed it. He started talking slower, as if I couldn't understand him. He hid documents poorly, whispered to lawyers who thought I was too weak to notice. But I noticed everything. Every password, every account, every lie. The basement became my sanctuary. While he slept in his arrogance upstairs, I gathered copies of everything he had tried to steal. Photographs of statements, recordings of conversations, even the hidden cash he thought I would never find. I had time. I had patience, and most of all, I had motive. The night he locked me in, it was supposed to be my undoing. He shouted through the door that I was too old, too stubborn, too blind to see what he was doing. He told me I should have signed those papers when I had the chance. Then silence. The front door slammed. But I wasn't the prisoner. He was. Because deep in that basement was a hidden phone he had never discovered. A spare battery. And files, so many files, that could dismantle everything he thought he controlled. With steady fingers, I sent a single message. Not to him, to the lawyer he thought was on his side. A man who owed me more than he would ever admit. I attached the proof. The forged documents, the stolen funds, the recordings where my son bragged about bleeding me dry. Then, only after that web was spun, did I send a message to my son. Come home, now. When he burst through the door, I was sitting calmly on the stairs, lit only by the dim glow of the hall lamp. My eyes met his, steady, unblinking. How did you— Sit down, I said. My voice wasn't raised. It didn't need to be. He hesitated. For the first time in his life, he looked uncertain, small. I gave everything to you, I told him. Years of work, every sacrifice. And you answered it with greed. He tried to interrupt, but I raised my hand, silencing him. Check your phone. He pulled it out, hands trembling. I watched his face drain as he saw the flood of messages, the calls from his lawyer, the frozen accounts. The panic widened his eyes, stole his breath. Mother, please. I smiled, just faintly. You wanted power of attorney. Well, now the law is very interested in how you tried to get it. He dropped the phone. His knees hit the floor. I was wrong. No, I said, leaning closer. You were careless, and careless men fall. The police came 2 hours later. Not for me, for him. Fraud, forgery, attempted theft. Every step documented, every move undeniable. As they dragged him out, he shouted, "You set me up!" I only whispered back, "No, you set yourself up. I just let you." Now the house is quiet again. His room stands empty, stripped of arrogance and deceit. I eat when I want. I sleep in peace. And sometimes, when the silence stretches too long, I replay that night in my mind. The click of the lock. His voice screaming, "You'll rot in here!" He was right, in a way. Someone did rot in here.